Okay, so this is multiple choice. It says no calculator, but actually you'll get to use a calculator on these if you need it. And it says use the following substances to answer questions 1 through 4. And so number 1, it says a weak acid with 2 protons, aka a diprotic or polyprotic acid. And so if you look through the list right here, you find one with 2 H's right here. It's H2SO3, which is number 5 right here. And then that one has 2 protons, and obviously it's a weak acid because it's not hyperhexyl high homohexyl H2SO4. Then number 2 is strong acid, and the only one that's a strong acid here is hexyl right here, HClO3, which is number 4, which is this guy. And the only way you know those is by memorizing them, and any other acid that you encounter is a weak acid. List the substances in order increasing acid strength. So my strongest acid obviously is going to be HClO3 because that's my one strong acid. And then my weakest thing, way down listed over here, is going to be my thing that does not want to give up or get any H's at all. And if you look on the periodic table, things in this area of the periodic table, like carbon and silicon, they're ones that form 4 bonds and do not let things go. And so we have one in here that's called silane, SiH4, that is not going to act acidic or basic at all. It'd be the same as like CH4. It's just going to do nothing in solution. And so that would be my weakest acidic or basic strength thing. So cross those guys off as my weakest and my strongest. Now I'm down to 3 more items that I've got to put in order. Water, as you know, can act as an acid or a base, but it is definitely not going to be very strong. And so I'm going to list that as my second weakest item because I recognize that these 2 things are obviously an acid right here. We call it a weak acid. And then this one has 1 less H, and so it would be called the conjugate base of this weak acid because it's what's left over after this acid has released its proton. And so my next strongest one would be H2SO3, and then just a little bit weaker than it would be the conjugate base of it would be HSO3-. So there's my ordering from strongest over here to the weakest in acid strength. And then lastly it says, is the conjugate acid of hydroxide. So hydroxide is obviously a base and it loves to get a proton, and so if you put it with water, when in doubt react it with water, it's going to get a hydrogen, and so it's going to form some HOH over here. So that would be number 1 right here, which is my conjugate acid of this OH-, which of course is a base. So this is my base and this is my conjugate acid. All right, there's the first 4 multiple choicers.